Draw the corresponding number lines, and then solve the following inequalities. So the solving part should be definitely reviewed, because that was day one. So for the first number line, our first inequality, what do we do with that 5? Subtract it, and then what do we do with the 2? Divide it. Very good. The second one, what do I do with the 8? 5. So careful. You don't want to say greater than or less than. Greater than or equal to. So 5/2 is right here. Am I shading to the left or to the right? To the left. Including or not including? Good. Here's -6/5. Left or to the right? Right. Including or not including? Good. That top third there was 2 point, whatever that section was, 7. The next part is drawing the number lines on 1. I think the book might show them on separate, but I like them together. And now, what's our conjunction word? And. And says only where they overlap. So how far left to how far right do they overlap? -6/5 up to, do I include 5/2? Do I include the -6/5? The 5/2? Alright, you're done. What if instead of and this said or? What would you do? Careful. No. No. So or says take whatever's shaded. What's shaded? The whole thing. -infinity to +infinity. If you would, solve the individual inequalities. Draw your number lines. I'll give you a hint. Go from there. What happens to the inequality for the first one? Yep, because you divided by a -13 in this case. So please be careful with that. Second one, everything's okay. 3/13. I'm going to put it right here because I can. Shading left or right? Left. With the bracket. 11/6. Shading left or right? Good. We have or as our conjunction. Or says take whatever is shaded. What's shaded? Well, notice this section in here is not shaded. So we need to break it up. So how far how far right does the first section go? Not negative, positive. Bracket or parenthesis? Good. Someone else? Union. Where do I start up again? Good. Good. C. When you have that string like that, this is automatically an AND statement. So one thing I did not tell you in 2.7, which I could have told you, but I chose not to because I'm like that, is you could have broken that up into two parts. And then the conjunction and would go in between them. However, we could just do what we did before, where whatever we did to one section, we also have to do to the other two sections. I find it to be a little bit easier. So let me do that now. Thinking about the inside. How do I get? What do I get rid of first? I should say. Subtract 7. And then what do I do? Divide by 4. Since 4 is positive, no changing of signs. And if you recall, all you had to do for your inequality, or your graph I should say, was realize that x is between, in this case, negative 1/2 and 5/4. So this is the section we want. Inclusive or not inclusive? Inclusive. So if you were to go back up to here and do what we did like we had in part A and B, variable hopefully on the left, but it doesn't have to be, and then draw your number lines on top of each other and see where they overlap, you would get this final answer down here in the graph. But what is your answer in interval notation? Good. All right, if you would, do part D completely. Very good. So or says take whatever is shaded. So that 3/4 just drops out because it's sucked inside of the negative 2 to infinity. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to tell the viewer anything special about that.